Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Fast and Light Dying with Style. We'll be continuing in the Slug Home Nebula, where hopefully we'll have more luck than we did in the Mantis Home Nebula, where we encountered the Mantis main flagship that we could have earned for another playthrough, but I unfortunately let it slip away because I'm crap. So now we're in a nebula. The approaching fleet should happen faster, which means more of a strain on fuel, but less of a strain on, you know, being able to explore the place and getting scrap. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to the store and buy as much fuel as we possibly can. Fix some of the damage we've got and go on our merry way, hoping that we encounter ships without 3 shield bubbles. Well, bugger me. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to power our firebomb. I know we don't have many of them, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and bomb their shields while we burst laser their weapons. Now, at this point, we are mostly hoping our evade chance is keeping our 2 shield bubbles in the green here. We've got a decent member on shields, and we've got a shield recharger in. Now hopefully that'll mean... I didn't put auto fire on. Hopefully that'll mean we can just about pull through here, but this is one of those very difficult fights that is going to be a struggle no matter what. And setting fire to their shields is a good way to pull crew members out of systems that they would otherwise need to hang out in. I don't even know why I'm firing the burst laser. If they have 3 bubbles of shields, then I don't think we can actually get through them. So I think this might be a fight we actually have to run away from. Unless I just go straight for firing both weapons. But by how much damage we've already taken, I think what I'm going to do, yeah, is just jump away, because that is a very difficult sector. Now we could go to the store, but we don't have any scrap, so we're going to head backwards and try and skirt around. Well, this is a very bastardy tactic by the Slug, but they do tend to do that. So what they've done is they've sabotaged my oxygen, so I can't turn it on until I either jump away or disable their ship, and then they've got more weapons than I can possibly deal with. This is not going well. Not going well at all. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to jump away and flee as soon as we possibly can. And thankfully that was a miss. But this sector has been very dangerous straight away. It's skilled up most of our crew. But unfortunately... Right, oxygen's back up now. Yeah, unfortunately we are burning to death. Whew. Alright. Well, having an NG there saved us from taking 1 extra damage from that subsystem exploding, so that's nice. But still, this is being difficult. Now we're going to distribute crew members, so if we get boarded we'll be better off. And hope that we can find some less dangerous scrap as we progress through the nebula. Well, we can't actually afford any goods, so what we're going to do is decline. Now, the Slug are just not trustworthy, so I wasn't going to go for that with half my hull, and even if they only had 2 shield bubbles, that's the status I'm currently at, and until I get So straight away we're being attacked. Now the lasers they have are just terrifying with someone with my shielding, so this looks like a job for firing all volleys at their weapons. Unfortunately, if those lasers fire, they are definitely taking down my shields and annihilating most of my ship. But with our shield recharge being quite quick, if we have the right guy on shields, then we should be alright. And by alright I mean we might make it to jumping away, but this sector seems to have been an entire episode of basically just running away from fights we can't handle. Which means, again, we're just getting the hell out of there. And we're going to stay hidden here. Because as much as I would love to take on something like this to get the scrap, we're just not handling these fights with 3 shield bubbles, because I only have a maximum of 5 damage I can put out in any given turn, and that's if all my weapons hit. And the evade chance of any of these ships is high enough that most of the time they'll miss, and as this guy has rockets, it'll just wear me down even more, and I can't handle that at this point. As much as I'd like to die with style, I'd like to die with a little more grace than taking on something I just knew I couldn't defeat. I'm gonna heal up our wounded crew bit by bit, because every time I seem to take them out of rooms and try and heal as many people as once. I don't understand why this happens. Shirai here is crap at using the engines, whereas Huts is freaking amazing at it, and yet the human seems to take the console arrogantly first, even when I move them out of the room and into the room by the same select box. That's very frustrating. Oh well. Right, well, crew's healed up, ship's pretty damaged, and we only have 2 scrap. But into the wild bold yonder, because we don't really have any choice but to continue. Again, nothing there. That's very bad. If we don't find some scrap or fuel soon, I mean, we can't buy any fuel at this point. We're pretty much boned. Now this ship with 2 shield bubbles we might be able to do damage to, but again we need to take down their weapons because we have so little in the way of hull and shielding. They'll just wear us down with the rocket or punch us down with the lasers. And they seem to be doing just that. Now shields should come back up pretty quickly because we have an NG on shields, but I'd really rather we didn't explode at this point. So we're going to hold fire on the burst laser 2 until the burst laser 1 is charged, and then give them a nice big volley, which mostly misses. That does seem to be the problem. Now usually I'd run away, but if we don't get some scrap, we're just going to run out of fuel and be sitting ducks. Even though they just took out our oxygen. Well, we can do nothing but try at this point. Although that seems to have put us ahead. If we can synchronise our laser fire, then we might be able to wear these guys down and out. And whatever they give us will be greatly needed. And obviously the better an enemy ship is, the more it gives, so being that these guys have been pretty tough, hopefully. No, because Slug usually shortchanged. By the fact it didn't display what they were giving us on the surrender list, I'm not taking any chances that they're going to give us bugger all and then just run away into the nebula. I just don't trust Slug. Oh good, well, we didn't get any fuel, but 43 scrap would be a decent way to repairing our ship. I'm going to head out. Ah. And a defence drone Mark II and some extra scrap. Well, we needed that, and thankfully there's a store nearby. The reason I jumped here is with our 1 fuel, we could at least wait on the exit, but as there is a store here, we're going to get there ASAP. And look at all the lovely stuff they have to offer. Now they've got a burst laser too there. Now I know I should be prioritising repairing my ship, but what I'm going to do is, no, I'll keep the shield charge booster. I'm definitely buying that. And then I'm going to repair my ship, and then I'm going to buy whatever fuel they have. And thankfully, that has left me actually better off, because the cargo stuff I couldn't use at this point. That's a same power requirement, but the fact that these two fire in unison, and obviously the burst laser Mark II fires better but has the same power cost, means I am far better off for taking things down than I was before. Far, far better. Now, if I can get a little bit of scrap before we exit this sector, I know I'll be using up that press of fuel. I'm hoping I'll find some. Nope, we're finding nothing as we are here. Might as well heal up my crew as they got damaged somewhere along the way and I didn't really notice. We'll send the engine back first. There we go. And we'll be jumping to the next sector shortly. Ah, an enemy ship. Now this is not terribly dangerous to me, aside from the fact I can't see what's going on. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait until they start damaging something. Right, now I can see that they're there, so I'm opening the airlock there. And I'm going to wait until they're a little bit damaged. I don't actually think they can really cause me too many problems with that, so I'm going to try and take down their helm so they're not evading me. I'm going to then go for their shields. Right, so they're trying to get in here, so I'm going to reinforce this room with Nicola. And the fact that we've already got a Mantis in here and they're wounded from the depressurized ship means that we'll likely be doing alright. Now they're taking all damage to their helm right now, which is lovely. I'll send Nicola back this way, but Loth will need some healing up. I'm going to aim for their shields and hopefully take them all the way down. Now I was worried that would happen and they'd breach our shields and fire at just the right time, but it was only 1 damage and it didn't take down any systems, so I think it's worth the risk at this point. Because damaging them is just difficult entirely, as finding the right weapons to take down the amount of shields that ships have is difficult. But that seemed to work out beautifully, so we got 1 missile, 1 drone part and a load of scrap. We will be healing Lot up. And then once Lot's healed up, I think I'll be jumping and we'll be home and dry until the next sector. We are still running low on fuel, but I did think that would be a danger of nebula sectors. There's nothing we can do about it at this point, so we'll just have to jump to the next sector, which will be the Uncharted Nebula. Thankfully no more bastard slugs, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Fast and Light Dying with Style, where I'll be stranded because I have no fuel.